Picture this. You're sitting across from her at dinner. The restaurant is warm. The lighting is soft. Everything around you looks like a relationship that's still alive. But something is missing. And you can't quite name it. She's right there. But she isn't with you. You reach for her hand and she gives you her fingers, but not her presence. You ask, "How was your day?" and you get 3 words back. You feel it in your chest, bro. That slow, quiet dread. The one that whispers something is wrong, but I'm not allowed to know what it is. Why does this keep happening? Is she losing interest? Do I still matter? Am I the problem? Your brain starts spinning. You replay every text from the last month. You wonder if she's bored. You wonder if someone else has her attention. You wonder if the love you built for years is quietly fading. Here is what nobody tells you, man. The truth is brutal and freeing at the same time. She's not ignoring you because she stopped loving you. She's ignoring you because she stopped feeling safe with you. And there is a massive difference between those two things. Love doesn't leave a relationship quietly, safety does. You're not failing at love. You're not broken. You're not with the wrong person. Every couple that has loved each other has stood exactly where you're standing right now. You are standing in the door where you finally understand that what looks like rejection is almost always protection in disguise. By the end of this video, you're going to understand the real reason she pulls away even when her heart still wants you close. You'll learn the exact emotional mechanics behind her silence. And you'll walk away with a way back to her that doesn't require chasing, begging, or losing yourself. Let's get into it. Most couples believe that when a woman goes quiet, it's about her feelings, about attraction, about interest, about whether she still wants to be with you. So the man tries to fix the feelings. He plans dates. He buys flowers. He texts more. He tries harder. But here's what nobody explains. The real truth is that a woman's withdrawal almost never starts in her feelings. It starts in her nervous system. It starts in the part of her brain that is constantly, and she might not even know it, scanning you. Scanning whether you're safe. Scanning whether you can hold what she brings. That is the part most men don't see, bro. And it's the part that changes everything. When safety starts to leave a relationship, the love doesn't disappear. It goes underground. It hides behind "I'm fine." It hides behind "I rolls." It hides behind the silent treatment you think is about you, but it's actually about decades of emotional conditioning she learned before she ever met you. So here's what's really happening beneath the surface of her silence. She wants closeness. She is deeply longing to be chosen, to be seen, to be understood. But every time she reaches, she hits a wall, a comment that got minimized, a need that became an argument, a moment where she cried and felt more alone afterward than before. So her nervous system makes a decision for her. She pulls away. Not because she loves you less. Because she has learned that loving you has a cost she can't keep paying. Once you see her through this lens, every confusing thing she does starts to make sense. And your next move becomes obvious. Let's get into the 7 things that are actually happening when she ignores you even though she loves you deeply. Most couples hit a wall in the middle of their relationship where one partner, often her, starts filtering everything she says. She edits. She watches her words. She turns real thoughts into safer thoughts. Because somewhere along the way, she learned the real version of her causes friction. Here's the truth. She is not being cold. She is running on emotional survival mode. Her nervous system has classified honesty as a threat. How many times has she told you something real and watched you try to fix it instead of feel it? How many times did she cry and hear calm down and return? How many times did she ask for reassurance and receive frustration? That's not a conversation problem. That's a safety problem. Beneath the surface, she is protecting the most tender parts of herself from someone she used to believe could hold them. Here's what that looks like. The disconnecting version, she says fine when she isn't, you say okay cool, and you both sit pretending nothing is wrong. The connecting version, she says I had a hard day, I just need you to listen for a minute, no fixing, just listening, and you say okay, I'm right here. And you actually stay. And when you do that, she doesn't feel like a problem to manage. She feels like a person to come home to. And the walls start to come down without either of you having to say a word. Most couples wait too long to address the small things. Then the small things become the entire relationship. Here's the part no one talks about. When she goes quiet, she is not giving up. She is hoping. Hoping you'll feel the shift. Hoping you'll lean in instead of pulling away. She wants to be pursued emotionally, not aggressively, but gently, like a man who sees her even when she disappears. That's what turning toward looks like. It is not the grand gesture. It is the hey, you seem off text. The eye contact across a crowded room that says I see you, and I'm not going anywhere. Beneath the surface, she is testing whether you love her at the level she needed as a little girl. Whether you'll hold her when she's irrational. Whether you'll stay when she's hard to love. Here's what that looks like. The disconnecting version, she says nothing's wrong, you say okay, and the distance grows another inch. The connecting version, she says nothing's wrong, and you say I hear you, but something feels different tonight, can we just sit together for a bit? And she melts. Because you just saw her. And somewhere inside her, you can almost hear her think. I forgot what it felt like to be chosen by someone who wasn't making me prove I deserved it. And here's what changes everything. A woman never ignores a man she still feels like herself with. She ignores the man she has started performing for. Most couples drift into this pattern without noticing. Somewhere along the way, she began softening what she thinks. Agreeing to things she doesn't want. Laughing at things she doesn't find funny. Going along with plans she doesn't enjoy. Hiding her real preferences to keep the peace. This is not love. This is emotional disappearance. And it is one of the loneliest patterns a woman can live inside. What's underneath it is this. She was trained by life, by past relationships, by her own family, to believe being lovable means being smaller. The moment she senses the real her is too much for you, she begins to vanish. Inside her quiet, the unspoken line is I don't know how to be myself with you and still feel kept. Here's what that looks like. The disconnecting version, she goes along with your weekend plans, smiles later, and physically shows up but emotionally leaves. The connecting version, she gently says I love you, but I need a Sunday alone, not because I don't want to be with you, but because I need to come back to myself, and I'd love to be fully present with you tomorrow. That is what emotionally available looks like. And when she hears you can hold that without getting defensive, her nervous system finally exhales. Most couples don't realize how much of the present is haunted by the past. Here's the part no one talks about. She ignores you because an old pattern is running inside her. Maybe her father was emotionally unavailable. Maybe a past relationship taught her that needing someone leads to being hurt. Maybe she learned very early that the safest way to love is to pretend you don't. This is not about you. And that is the part that hurts most. You can do everything right, and an old wound inside her can still flare up and color what she does. What's beneath the surface is this. Her silence is not a verdict on your relationship. It's a flashback to a moment she survived before you existed. And her nervous system is treating you like an old threat, not a current partner. Here's what that looks like. The disconnecting version. She pulls back, you panic, you push harder, she pulls further, and the cycle spins. The connecting version, she pulls back, you stay steady, and you say I'm here when you're ready, and I'm not going anywhere, and you actually don't go anywhere. And somewhere deep inside her, something whispers he's not leaving when the hard part shows up. That's new. Most couples slowly turn a relationship into a mission. The mission becomes the problem. Here's the truth. The moment you start trying to fix her, healing her, optimizing her, saving her, she stops feeling chosen and starts feeling managed. And a woman who feels managed almost always goes quiet. Beneath the surface, every woman wants to feel loved for who she already is, not for who she could become in your hands. When she senses you are loving a future version of her more than the present one, she begins to drift. Because who can stay close to a love that requires them to be improved? Inside her mind, the quiet says, I don't know how to be enough for you as I am. Here's what that looks like. The disconnecting version, she vents about work and you immediately offer 5 solutions. She sighs, I just wanted you to hear me. The connecting version, she vents about work, and you say that sounds exhausting, tell me more, and you actually listen until she's done. No pivoting. No advice. Just being with her in the feeling. Not louder conversations. Not more compromising. Not scheduling a weekly check-in. But 2 people who feel safe enough to be honest about the small ruptures before they become the entire relationship. Most couples never learn how to repair. And they have no idea how expensive that is. Here is the deep truth. Repair is not a conversation. Repair is a moment. The moment after a disagreement where one of you turns toward the other and says, we're okay, right? Or I don't want to be right, I want to be close. When you can't repair. When every fight ends with cold shoulders, slammed doors, or pretending nothing happened, the body learns conflict is unsafe. So she stops bringing things up. Not because she stopped caring. Because she stopped believing caring could survive the conversation. Here's what that looks like. The disconnecting version, she brings up a concern, you get defensive, she says forget it, and the conversation dies. Now she's carrying it alone. The connecting version. She brings up a concern, you get defensive, you pause, and say I reacted because I'm scared, not because I don't care. Can we start that again? She says yeah. And the room changes. That phrase, can we start that again, is one of the most powerful repair lines in the entire relationship lexicon. Most couples pretend they don't play emotional games. But every couple does. Conditional love looks like warmth when she's agreeable and withdrawal when she's difficult. Presence when she's performing, absence when she's real. And she feels it, bro, long before she can name it. Her nervous system is registering, I am only loved when I behave. So she behaves. And the behavior looks like calm, distance, everything's fine. But underneath, she is disappearing. What is beneath the surface is the deepest truth of the video. She doesn't want unconditional love because it's a nice idea. She wants it because without it, she cannot be free inside the relationship. A woman who cannot be free inside the relationship eventually goes quiet, not out of spite, but out of survival. Here's what that looks like. The disconnecting version, you only soften when she's small, only listen when she's not upset, only show up when she's easy. The connecting version, you soften when she's loud. You listen when she's upset. You show up when she's hard. You don't do it as a strategy. You do it because of who you are becoming. Unconditional presence doesn't mean tolerating bad behavior. It means refusing to withdraw your heart when her emotions show up. And when she feels that, she stops ignoring you and starts turning toward you again. Now, bro, before you go, let me leave you with this. This isn't a checklist. It's an invitation to become someone your partner can actually feel safe with. Every point we walked through today is not a tactic, it is identity. It is the kind of man you are becoming when you stop reacting and start responding. When you understand the unspoken language beneath her silence instead of reacting to it, when you see her nervous system instead of her attitude, when you hold space for the real her without flinching, everything in your relationship begins to shift. You stop chasing. You stop begging. You stop performing. And you start becoming the steady, emotionally present, real man her soul has been waiting for since long before she ever met you. And here's what nobody explains. The moment you stop trying to win her back and start becoming the man she can come home to, that is the moment she does.